Welcome to our 10th episode of the Lanner Edge Talk video blog. Today I'm delighted to have one of our partner, IG, who is working with us on some of the projects, specifically about the deployment, about universal CPE, as well as SD-WAN deployments. So we'll give you a little bit of an insight on how we been working together. So IG, can you give us a little bit of an overview about your company and what's the specialty about your company?
Thank you, Sven. Thanks for the opportunity, and I appreciate the opportunity to kind of talk about some of the trends and challenges that I guess everybody's faced with, especially after pandemic, and people are thinking about recovery, and how we as ConnX are really helping customers from a communications and connectivity perspective, and how our partnership with Lanner really we've helped several customers really adopt our AI-WAN driven approach. So ConnX really is an AI-driven communications transformation service platform that really integrates voice, video, data, collaboration, mobility, and security to help enterprise customers mitigate operational complexity of supporting and maintaining fragmented and siloed communication services. We enable customers to adopt AI and digital transformation, and really are the foundational pillar, right, that really digital transformation runs on, right, which is really connectivity and communications and collaborations. We operate globally, and really delighted to talk to you all about our partnership, which we have enjoyed a partnership with Lanner over the last 15+ years and growing strong.
So tell me a little bit more. What's the value you're bringing to the customer? I'm assuming it's around managed services for the enterprise. So what's the specialty?
Yeah, Sven, great question, right? So so if I start, right, if you really look at from the overall market trends perspective, what we see, and this has really been demonstrated over the last 6 to 7 months as we're living through the pandemic, the adoption of digital transformation is happening at a exponential pace, right? It's not a question of if anymore, it's a question of survivability, right? You have to really, whether you're in retail, whether you're in financial, any healthcare vertical, every facet of our society, as we've witnessed, has been touched with, even if you look at what we're doing right now, right? In normal instances, we would have probably did this in person, right? So we're using virtual collaboration means and methodologies and tools, and that's what we see across the board, right? People are adopting digital transformation, and at the heart of the digital transformation is really reliable connectivity, secure connectivity, and embedded communications. And so if you look at in terms of where most customers really want to consume everything as a service, right? So they want to really really connect their workforce. They want to connect their supply chain. They want to connect, their stores and branches, and really enjoy reliable connectivity and communication so they can do their business. So what we see, right, is the service providers, right, they're also wrestling with their own challenges, right, which is to modernize their backbone, their networks, because they're moving towards 5G. They really are trying to monetize more of their embedded investments in fiber, and they really are also wrestling with trying to do this complex integration, because it is complex to really look at from an enterprise perspective, to go in and to understand exactly their embedded base and to be able to transform. So that's where we add a lot of value, right? Given our extensive enterprise background, our knowledge and experience in terms of helping customers navigate through this complexity and simplify it, and make it easy for our partners such as yourselves, right, to extend, right, the uCPE along with carriers network. We're the ones that really stitch it all together and orchestrate this and provide this so that the enterprise ultimately can consume this, as a really simple, elegant solution that's already all baked in.
So, so in other words, you have a software framework what you have developed to manage this as a service. I'm assuming, and who are your partners from a software point of view when you roll it out into deployment?
Yep. So absolutely. I mean, ConnX really is a cloud native mobile first platform. It's sort of we've built our own sort of I guess orchestrator. So think of us essentially a federator of federators, right? So we really obviously we're not a product company. We're a service and solutions company. But our sort of I guess deep strength and expertise in terms of engineering and DevOps and understanding of sort of, I guess, microservices and Kubernetes, right? We've been able to really build essentially, a sort of, I guess, a service chaining sort of framework that allows us to take the best of breed, right? Whether it's, again, SD-WAN software from some of the leading, I guess, vendors and partners, right? Like 128T, like Silver Peak and others, right? That we're working with. And then on the session border controller side, we have extensive sort of, I guess, basically expertise in terms of, from a voice perspective, taking some of the VNFs from, let's say, Oracle, AudioCodes, and Ribbon, and then taking, let's say, other sort of, I guess, VNFs, whether it's in sort of, I guess, security space, right? That's what we've done. We've kind of built, really a communications framework, right, with best of breed VNFs that we have orchestrated, and we really are able to extend that, right, because it's multi-service integrated, right, from a voice, video, data perspective, so customers can connect to us over the top and really derive and benefit from all of that heavy lifting that's already gone in, and make it easy for customers to really adapt and adopt communications transformation.
So that means that the deployment will be accelerated, right? So how much would you think you eliminate in terms of time for deployment? Is it 6 months, 3 months? I'm assuming with what's been done already, it could be an instant deployment, right? So you don't have to do any further development if somebody is interested in that, right?
Absolutely, Sven. And thanks again. I mean, based on, the partnership that we have with Lanner, I think we're very proud to basically say the innovation that's gone in. I mean, we've got innovation in so many different areas, but what you just talked about in terms of the time to market, right? Because if you look at any business case analysis, right, it's all about, right, in terms of realizing and executing against, that strategy and the vision, right? So it's all about how quickly can you implement, how quickly can you deploy, how quickly can you migrate and transform, so you sort of truly realize and unlock the potential of your savings and the productivity gains, et cetera, right? So with that, I think the work that our companies have done together to demonstrate in scale, in size and complexity, right? So just to give you an idea, right? So we did, a 5,000 location SD-WAN integrated with voice deployment, which traditionally would have taken close to about 18 to 24 months. We were able to complete the whole migration, which was to migrate every single location's WAN with 3 transports, with close to about 10,000 intelligent edge devices from Lanner, close to about 60,000 endpoints in less than 9 months. And it was only because of, the automation capability, the zero-touch provisioning capability, and the orchestration we were able to sort of develop together with Lanner that allows us to really sort of, I guess, kind of do a record, implementation in a record amount of time.
And on top of that, you're eliminating the vendor lock-in, right? So you don't have to be dependent on a single vendor to support all that, right? So I'm assuming the VNFs and the partners. So I think so. You mentioned 128 technology. So there are other partners as well besides 128.
Yes, we obviously are market driven. We really again based on and if you look at obviously where the market is trending, there's so many different sort of, I guess, SD-WAN solutions out there in the marketplace, and SD-WAN is just one VNF, right? So if you look at also from the voice perspective and security perspective, our emphasis and focus is communications transformation. It's not just, siloed and geared towards one particular area, right? So routing, switching, is one aspect of it, right? Which is where sort of, I guess, traditionally SD-WAN plays into, right? But there's, other aspects of, also communications, right? Which is really sort of, I guess, policy management, orchestration, voice, video, collaboration, and so on and so forth. And then, really expanding on top of that, right? If you look at for regulated industries, what we're doing with the contact center, as a service we have extensive also sort of, I guess, deployment in Microsoft Teams with sort of our direct routing, with our sort of, I guess, contact center with voice recording. So we really are very solution centric, and we really, obviously are market driven, and we have an extensive set of partners, right, that we work with. And, of course, we have extensive, background and knowledge, with, of course, 128T with you guys, right? But of course, right, we also want to be able to cater to, other customers and partners, right, perhaps that have other embedded base.
So if somebody's interested, how can you find out more? What would be the best approach to find out more about ConnX?
Yeah, no, great. Thanks again, Sven. Right. So yeah, please go to, www.connex.ai.com. And then also you can send us an email at sales@connex, ConnXAI.com. And we'll be happy to sort of, I guess, engage in a conversation with you and, really help you understand in terms of where the market's trending and how we need to really take a different and unique approach in really modernizing your communication. Because, really everything is software now, and, you need to have a completely different approach, different sort of, I guess, mindset and different skill set, candidly, to really able to transform, because it's no longer sort of, I guess, kind of looking at your traditional means and methods of, sort of solving routing, switching, and security, right? Because, one of the things the pandemic really demonstrated to us, right? If you look at it, and we've been all doing this for a very long time, most of the corporate networks were built with the classic three-tiered architecture where you had, DMZs and firewalls and your corporate network. And really, most of the users were on, the other side of the firewall, and you only sort of, I guess, probably designed for a fraction of your user population to come in and work remotely. Well, that has all changed, right? Because, 100% of your sort of, I guess, workforce is now on the other side of firewall. Then on top of that, right, all of your data now, right, which used to be within the corporate boundaries, right, again, is in the cloud. So really, all of your sort of, I guess, data flows really have reversed and changed. So you got to really think through this, right, paradigm, differently. And that's what we bring to the table in terms of how do you really sort of, I guess, address this issue. And this is, no one's going back, right? This is the way forward now. So how do you really sort of, I guess, design and implement and manage, this new sort of, I guess, paradigm? That's where ConnX can really sort of help.
All right. So thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we'll have some future projects together.
Fine. Thanks again for the opportunity. Appreciate it.